It's John from wealthdragons.co.uk. Today I'm in the Royal Plaza Hotel. As you can see, it's a beautiful location, and today I'm going to talk to you about the power of boldness, also known as the ready, fire, aim. What do I mean by this? A lot of people have what we call analysis paralysis, and for those of you who are watching this, you may be in a situation where you think you have to learn everything before you can get going. I can tell you now that, you know, with my success in life and with my business partners, and the way we've made our millions is not from sitting there and analysing, it's actually sitting there and doing something. You know, the amount of time that people spend in meetings, having countless meetings, not about anything, just sitting down, it's just an excuse really. But you want to get in a situation where you're actually doing things and actually making it happen, because by the time you spend time thinking about doing something, you could have already done it by now. You know, I'll give you an example. When I first started in property, I spent 3 years before I got into it. I had to learn all about the market, I had to go to all these seminars, had to find out from other estate agents what it was all about. I had to go to all these networking events, and you know what, by that time I could have just done a deal, and then I decided to take the plunge. Literally within 6 months I bought 35 houses. That, you know, for me that was like an unbelievable move, because what happens is you have this fear. We're going to have a whole complete session on fear, but one of the things that was holding me back was actually this analysis paralysis. I need to know everything about the deal. For example, when I actually got a property transaction come up, I had to find out first of all what the property was worth, where, you know, what I could do with it, and rather than just diving in. And sometimes it's good to just dive in and make the mistakes first. The problem is people try and create a system that doesn't exist, because you can't create a system because you don't know what the problems are. You don't know, for example, in the property industry, it's all about when you get your feet dirty, it's all about managing that process. Everyone thinks it's very simple to just buy properties. I mean, I'm just giving you this as an example of creating wealth. One of my wealth creating principles is to buy real estate and property and make a lot of money from it, but I couldn't design a system around it until I first got my hands dirty. So really, anything that you want to do, you should dive in. You know, there's two mentalities. The first one is you can go out, you know, when you're in a swimming pool, there's two things you do. You can kind of dip your foot in at the shallow end, okay? Or what you can do is you can go to the deep end and jump in. Because if you jump in, you don't know how to swim, guess what's going to happen? You're going to learn to swim, because it's either swim or sink, right? It's the same in your business when you jump. I'm not saying jump into it blindly. I'm saying you don't need 100% of the information to get started, because after all, you can't know everything. Even after 2 or 3 months, you still can't know everything. Even after a year, you can't know everything. Even after 2 years, you can't know everything. So what I'm saying is have enough information to make an informed decision, so you feel comfortable and confident to do it. That's why analysis paralysis, it paralyzes people, it stops people from taking action. And I learned this saying from one of my mentors, John Reese. He talks about the more action you take, the more money you make. It's that simple. So you've got to look at, you know, how you divide your time. Maybe you spend 50% of your time doing the research and the theory, then you spend another 50% of the time actually taking action. Because once you jump in, things just happen. Opportunities are created from nowhere. I give an example. When I first decided to jump in the deep end, this was at a networking event. I thought, right, today I'm going to find someone. My goal is to find someone to give me money, because I need money to quit my job so I can then go out and do this full time. And by the way, when you got your time back, that's when you start making real money. So I took the plunge and I found someone. That person gave me £20,000, equivalent to about $40,000, so I could quit my job. And then I thought, right, every day now I'm going to go into estate agents or realtors, as you may know them in the US or in Singapore. And you know, from there I started getting more opportunities, I started getting more contacts, and from that I started to find bargain properties. And when I spoke to all the estate agents, I found builders, and builders who were fixing my houses up for me started giving me property deals as well, saying, hey, I know someone who's fixing up the property but they can't sell at the moment. And that's why I used my contacts and then leverage, because what happens when you take action, you start getting contacts. You may have heard of the concept of the law of attraction, or you may have heard of The Secret, and what you think about, you start manifesting. And in a way I do think that's true. I'll give you another example. In my acting career, you know, I spent years and years and years figuring out how could I get on TV. Because one of the things I said to myself, you know, I want to get on TV, as impossible as that may sound. And in the UK, I'm a little minor celebrity, as they say. People do recognise me, they ask my autograph, and it's fantastic because I get to entertain people. And the way I did that is that, again, I jumped in deep. I found an agent that had a lot of work for me, and then I went to audition after audition after audition after audition. I landed a huge part in one of the UK's top programs. I mean, that screens over 8 million people in the UK and millions of people all around the world. And because I did that, I had a contact, then I went to auditions, I had another contact, then I went to a few plays, I took more action there. So I didn't have to know everything about acting. At the time, I didn't know much about acting. When I got the parts, that's when I started to teach myself how to act. And I started getting acting lessons and singing lessons, performing lessons and presenting lessons, as I'm doing right now. So, you know, all these skills that when you jump in head first, when you jump into the deep end, when you take action and you ready, fire and then aim, I think that is when things start happening. Because when you understand the law of reciprocity, the law of, you know, attraction, things do happen. I mean, another example as well, I have myself and Vincent, my business partner, who you've been seeing on the other E-classes, who's been presenting as well. We always said to ourselves, we want Wealth Dragons to go to Asia. And now look, we're in Singapore at the moment in the Royal Plaza Hotel, and you've seen us in various locations. And we said, look, we want to be in Asia in front of thousands and millions of people. We got an opportunity, an email came through. I said, look, we need to send these people an email to see if we can get our foot through the door. Literally a year later, we're now in Asia, because the series of steps that led up to that really had an impact on our finance. And literally, it's like doubling your income overnight, because what we replicated in the UK, we're replicating now all around the world. And then we started franchising, and that's how we made a lot of money. So if you're watching this and you want to know how this applies to your business or how you can create wealth from this, whatever you're doing right now, stop, okay, and just do it. You just got to do it and take action, and you learn as you go. One of the things, I'll share this last thing with you, a little tip is, a lot of people are afraid of failing. And again, Vincent will talk to you more about this later. Look, when you were born, you never walked the first time, you never ran the first time, you had to fail a lot of times, yeah? We talked about never giving up. Well, this is one of the traits that you need to have to become if you want to be a millionaire, these are the things that you have to have, yeah? So don't be afraid to start and fail, yeah? Just take that from me right now, because, you know, to get to where I've got now, for Vincent to get to where he's got right now, do you think we've had a few failures? Of course. You know, Richard Branson, you know, Robert Kiyosaki, all these people, they've had failures in their life, but what they didn't do is give up. They kept going and going and going, and they kept firing and aiming and then learning along the process and having people around them support them. So listen, I hope you found this useful, and I hope you take this on board and start doing action right now. I want you to write down 7 things that you're going to do over the next 7 days in order for you to take action to move forward. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.